to the vlog.
My friends, it is year 13, week number 655. My weekly sewing class was canceled for the week because it coincided with Easter. So instead, what I ended up doing is I went to 5th Ave to check out this thing called the Easter Parade and Bonnet Festival. Now, I just found out about this thing the day before Easter this week, and basically, this is like an annual event that they do every year at Easter where they shut down a few blocks of 5th Ave for pedestrians only, and people walk up and down the street and they get dressed up. Okay, now I'm talking full-on Easter costumes. I think the main thing is they like decorate these super elaborate hats. Photographers come out and they just start like kind of looking at each other's outfits. I think that is the main objective of the parade portion of this. I showed up. I tried to capture as much footage as possible of like the general ambiance of the chaos that was happening on the street. And some of these people like truly elaborate headwear here. This guy here, straight up iMac on his head. This guy had, this is kind of like a bubble machine. I don't know how he did it, but he had bubbles ejecting out of the top of his hat. Okay, this is like a full-on spectacle, bubbles coming out of his head. All of these people, I think, are just there just to entertain. Like, it's just all for fun, you know? And then, yeah, the people who don't really dress up, but they just want to see what's going on, like myself, okay? So this kind of mix of all these different people, the people who are there dressed up with the hats, and then there's other people who are just there just to kind of take in all this that is going on here.
Bonnet, with all the frills upon it, you'll be the grandest lady in the Easter parade. Well, I'll be all in clover, and when they look us over, we'll be the proudest couple in the Easter parade. On the avenue, 5th Avenue, the photographers will snap. You'll find that you're in photograph bureau. I could write a sonnet about your Easter bonnet and all the guys to the Easter parade. Thank you.
Hello, my friends. We are walking over to a coffee shop called Kawa House here in Brooklyn. It's a kind of a Turkish style coffee shop restaurant. This place in particular is special because it was recommended to me by a friend of the vlog, Tess, maybe about a month or so ago. And it is a little bit far away, so I might take the train. But that is where we're going to do some work from home for today, making videos for work. And the video that I'm making for work this week is a fun one because every so often we do these celeb collaborations. We're doing a collaboration with WWE, which I'm editing right now, and I think that it's always fun to see like the behind the scenes of, you know, I make the video and then there's always like very small minor details that you have to change to kind of fit the brand of the client, or in this case WWE. And I just find that whole process to be very interesting to see the intricacies of like making sure the client is happy with the way that they're presented in the video. The premise of the video is we brought members of WWE into the studio and we're filming them sit down and compete to accomplish delicate tasks with one another. And so these things include like playing Operation, or doing origami, or trying to carefully pick up a glass of wine and not spilling it. It's like things that are traditionally very delicate and you have to be very careful with. And it's funny because like, just throw a bunch of WWE people in there and it makes for a very entertaining comedy style video. One of the questions that we asked them that I really liked was, you know, they sat there and we asked, what is it that initially got you interested in being a part of WWE? Like from the very start. And then they started going into like their origin stories of how they got interested in the whole thing. And it's funny because like as I'm listening to them for the first time, I'm like sitting there editing this footage, and you gotta imagine that a lot of these people are around my age or maybe a little bit younger, and they were probably just like me. Like when they were kids, they were the ones who watched WWE and like consumed that content. And so their people they really idolized and looked up to were people like The Rock. We were the same person at one point in time, just sitting there in front of the TV watching wrestling going on WWE at the time. And it's just that they had, like, these people who are now in WWE now just took it a step further and like actually trained and had the talent to join something like that, you know? So it's like at one point in time, we were all consuming the same thing as kids, but they just took it a step further and actually made it their careers. So this coffee shop, I actually have no idea how to pronounce it. This is how it's spelled, Qahwah. I actually don't believe this is Turkish, based on this map that they had on the inside. They had very good coffee here. I ordered a Mafawar coffee. This is kind of like a medium roast coffee. They put some sort of like cream. This is not something I would normally order, but you know, for the experience, we got to try out whatever they have to offer at this place. Now, interesting thing is, I checked out the bathroom of this location because I feel like the restroom always is like it's an indication about the general vibe of the place that you're at, because, you know, whether it's clean or it's kind of dirty or like whatever the feel of the bathroom is, it's like it's often overlooked, but I feel like it's an important aspect of the overall experience of a place. Now, the interesting thing about this restroom is I noticed this sink that they have inside of this place. I believe this is the same exact sink that I have here in my bathroom. Okay, so this is their sink here. Notice the knobs, the design of this thing. And now this here is the sink that I have in my bathroom here. Okay, I think we have the same sink. This place is open fairly late, so I stayed basically the full day doing work from home from within their coffee shop. It is located in Williamsburg, Brooklyn, just a few blocks inland from the shore side. This has been week number 655. Next week I resume sewing lessons. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next week in week number 656.